All right, guys, let's jump in here. I have a distribution update for you on Roundhill on their weeklies, their XDTE and QDTE. Okay, so for anybody who isn't already in these and following, I'll give just a slight bit of info. Um, on what these are, what they pay, what I'm going to report to you. So there are two right now available. Well, Roundhill has many ETFs, but the ones that seem really popular are these weekly payers. I understand. So the current two weekly payers are based on, and they use a covered call strategy, right? They own underlying it. What do they do? What is zero DTE covered call on both the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq 100? Well, zero DTE means 0 days to expiration. So they're collecting money every single day by writing using a covered call strategy. So they write options on a daily basis and they win or lose. It's as simple as that. And they add up how much income they have for the week and they pay out and they have a regular calendar distribution. And not unlike the monthlies, they'll say, okay, our declaration date is 8/14. And they announce their new payment, which they just did. Okay, so they'll do it early in the morning, right? And then they say, well, you have to buy it by 8/14. The X date is 8/15. So anytime during the trading hours on 8/14, Wednesday, if you buy this, you will get the distribution. And tomorrow on 8/15, it'll be X dividend, meaning if you buy this fund, you won't get it until the following payment, right? And on their website, they have all this scheduled. And then when will you be paid? You literally buy it on 8/14, you'll be paid on 8/16. All right. So the XDTE fund is based on the S&P 500. And again, they're writing daily options to collect income. So let's go through this. What someone cares about is the latest. I put this type of video out on 7/17 last, and people really want to see it almost weekly, but there's some people that are doing it weekly, YouTubers, but I thought I would just keep this thing flowing every few weeks or once a month or something. So let's go through it. So what is the latest payment? The latest payment is 38 cents, almost 39 cents, right? You always see these payments in 3, 4, 5, 6 decimal. So in order to calculate that, if you took that times 52 weeks, how much would you be getting paid? $39 or $39, 39.15%. What's the current price on ending on 5/13, the day before, right? And then what did it change over the week? I look at the price change, right? Is the XDTE going up or going down? What is the price when they're declaring, right? Which they declare on this date, but before the market opened. So you have to use the prior day's close. So that says that it's up $1.69. Now, I could also do it here. How much did the yield go up or how much did the payment go up? But you guys can kind of see that. You end up with 20 columns. And, the pertinent data is you can see it paid 38, almost 39 cents. Last week, it was 41 cents. Okay, and on a lower price. So you had a higher yield, right? This is one of the biggest payments that they've done. I think it's the record. So you go through here, right? And you look and you pretty much can see the range. So what I'm doing since inception, this is when they started paying. You bought the fund on March 7th, March 8th, but their first payment was 325. Once they had that first payment, when they collected some money to the run up every week. So you can see sometimes they fall off 11 cents, right? So when they got this big, this is a pretty good size one. But this was the biggest. This was a record. So it was a 43% yield. So I'll keep you guys up to speed on all of that. And then let's go take a look. And by the way, there's XTE, the S&P 500. We're going to go through the NASDAQ 100. Same option strategy, just a different index. And they're coming out with a Russell 2000 called RDTE. And last I heard it was September. Somebody has an update for an actual date, you can let me know. But which I think will be attractive. I'm not sure about that time frame of launching. September is going to be a crazy month. I can see already. All right. So what did they pay? Now they tend to be priced a little bit lower, right? You see 50s here, and these guys are a 40. So look at that yield. Look at what they paid last week when XDTE yielded 43% and set a record. This was actually a hair down the week before from the yield here, right? Because they had a higher payment. Sorry. So what you had is this is your highest amount of the payment, but the stock was 43.81. This was a 39.83 underlying with a 51 payment. It almost yielded the same 67%, just off decimally. So what I like to do is give you guys a roll up of everything. So if you've been following my channel at all, you know I preach, unlike some people, I preach total return. Not necessarily, some people say, well, how long do I have to own the fund till I get all my money back? Well, what if the fund is a $2 fund and it pays a penny a week? Yeah, you got all your money back. Okay, it's paid for. You have 100% of the investment, but you get a penny a week. And don't think that they can't navy road down sometimes, right? So that's why I always look at total return. So let's take a brief period to look at QDTE and just look. So it's up 252, right? So the index is up $42, 43, 44, 45. Pretty consistent on this other than this drop down. Remember 85, the ugly 4.02% drop in the market that subsequently we've pretty much recovered back. So again, that's what weekly change. It just refers to the price. Look at these yields, though. Look how low and high they can go. Here's a 16%. Now, what is this? This is annualized, right? So how do I calculate that? I literally go out and say, if this was paid for in 1 week 52 times and divided by this price, sorry, 14 cents times 52 and divide it by 44.93, I get that I'm getting a 16.5% yield. So not a bad yield, even on a low one. These other yields are fantastic. But what this isn't telling you guys, and I always like to preach this, let's go up here. So I updated this through the current pricing, right, of August 13th. Whoops. There we go. So I had to add the 4 dividends, 4 weeks that I didn't have, and a few other things. So it really doesn't matter what your investment is, but I just threw 1,000 in there so you can see where some numbers are relative to that. Okay. So don't worry about that. Whatever number you plug in here is sort of irrelevant. It's all going to work the same. So let's take XDTE, the S&P 500. Inception 37, we know that their first payment was 325, and now they have all these payments. So you would have bought, if you bought Inception, you would have paid $52.46 on inception date. You current price is 51.45. So you can see that you haven't made any money on owning the underlying. What did you lose? Not a lot. On $1,000, you lost $19.25, or basically almost 2%, right? 1.93. But you collected, so you lost $4.91 okay, in dividends. So what kind of return is that on your investment? Again, it doesn't matter how much. It's 9.37. How many days? This is a formula to calculate how many days you've owned it. 160 days, and then that's a portion of 365, and you get an annualized return. So for the period you've owned it, you've made 9.37 and you get 15.31. Well, that's all around the dividend. Okay. But we were losing 1.93. We have to annualize that. Okay. So that's around $5. Now, I probably need to fix this, but it gives you, you call this 11, right? Because I estimated this before and I don't think I changed it. I can go back to my view here and I can put formulas back in and grid lines and see H6 times M10. Okay. So, bottom line, my total return reflects reality better. So you get all excited. I get it. Guys go, yeah, but I have use of the money. I get it every week. I can go do other things. You know, I can put it in a treasury, get interest. And that's true, right? But I'm just saying, you got that much money and you lost on your underlying because if you went out and sold the stock, that's the current price. This is what you paid for it. You've been getting $4.91. So that reflects your return so far. Now let's go to QTE. Or yeah, so everybody loves that. Oh my gosh, look at that. I got $6.48, right? I've got 13.95% return on my money. But have you? Because guess what? Look at your loss on the NAV on that one. You paid 46.44. And again, whatever your number is, you may have bought this 2 weeks ago. So you need a spreadsheet like I have. I actually have a total return spreadsheet that you guys can get. Just hit me up with a comment. It's one of my older videos, and I put it in the comments for that video. But I'll find it and give you the link to the video that in the description says request this and it'll download it for you. I put it out there on my Google Drive that breaks the NAV, or it breaks down what you paid for a stock and where it's at. So it gives you a return portion, and then you tell it all your dividends collected and how long you've had it. Give it your start date and the current date, and it calculates all that. So the issue here is I got $6.48. This looks like a better deal, but is it? No, it really isn't, because you lost 8.81. You lost over $4, okay, over here. So you, on one hand, you lost $4.09, and on the other hand, you got 648. So when I calculate that as an annualized return, I get 8.3. So what it says if you keep making dividends like this, your annualized dividend is going to be 31%. But if you keep losing in, 4 or 5 months, 8.81% on your NAV loss, then you're going to have an annualized loss of 23. That's how that number is calculated. Okay. So that's why I like total return, guys. So let's do, that's really it. So again, I'll start doing RDTE, the Russell 2000, when that comes out. So hit me up with any comments or questions you have on this. And if you're interested in it, some of you guys have, Snowball and these other ones out there where you have a whole bunch and that's great. Those are good. I just built a spreadsheet that has this kind of stuff, and I make it available free to anybody that asks for it on the channel. Okay, guys, again, this is Bruce with Targeted Wealth Creation. I wanted to get this out because these were just announced. And if you have a chance and you want to buy them, jump in and buy them today. Okay, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. It's for fun and entertainment. Have a great one. Bye for now.